Fourth game of the series between the Durham Bulls and Memphis Redbirds, as tight as all of the other three have been. We welcome you to another edition of Durham Bulls Daily, which is where our Bulls fans know where to go to listen for highlights, recaps, other notes, and more the morning after every Durham Bulls game this season. I'm Patrick Keenis, broadcaster for the Bulls. You can subscribe. We'd appreciate it if you would. You can do that on Apple and on Spotify, and also follow Durham Bulls TV on YouTube. You can watch this little mini pod as well, and you get notifications the next day when the new episodes drop. So on Friday night, big crowd, over 7,400 paid. A tight one between Memphis and Durham. The Bulls were trailing 3-0 going to the bottom of the fifth inning and having a tough time getting anything started against Adam Kloffenstein, who started for Memphis. But in the bottom of the fifth, the Bulls scored 4 times to grab the lead. Ronnie Simon would begin the inning with a double. Tristan Peters singled him in. Then there was a walk, a run-scoring single by Cameron Meisner, and then Curtis Mead looped in a base hit to give the Bulls a 4-3 lead. And Nathan Wiles, who threw very well for the Bulls, gave up a couple of home runs, but that was it. Wiles was in line for the win. But in the seventh inning, Memphis was able to tie things up with a run against Antonio Jimenez. And then in the eighth, with the game tied 4-4, and Edwin Uceta in, last year's International League MVP Luken Baker came to the plate against Uceta and untied the game on one swing. 1-1 on the way to Luken Baker. And a break ball hung, and it's driven out to left center field. Peters to the warning track at the wall, and it is gone. Luken Baker gives Memphis the lead. Third base umpire is signaling a home run. '13th by Baker. A towering shot against Uceta. And the Redbirds up 5-4 in the eighth inning. Baker hit 33 home runs with Memphis last year. That would be his 13th already this season. That gave Memphis a 5-4 lead, and they would go on to close it out. Chris Roycroft, the win for the Redbirds in his first appearance back since becoming a big leaguer with the Cardinals. Redbirds beat the Bulls 5-4. Cameron Meisner defensively was tremendous for the Bulls on Friday night. Threw out 2 different Redbirds. One at second base, Victor Scott cutting him down, trying to stretch a single into a double. And then later in the game, Meisner threw out catcher Nick Raposo going first to third on an RBI single. So 2 assists from right field for Meisner. Meanwhile, for the Durham Bulls, C.J. Hinojosa reached base a couple of times, a walk and a single. Tristan Peters, a RBI single. Ronnie Simon had 2 more hits for the Bulls, stole a base and scored a run. And Curtis Mead went 2 out of 4 with an RBI for the Bulls. But the series is now even after a 5-4 Memphis win. 2 games remain. More fireworks after Saturday's game. Mason Montgomery will start for the Durham Bulls at 6:35. Once again, we invite you to like and subscribe the podcast. You can do that on Apple, do that on Spotify, and also on YouTube at Durham Bulls TV. Once again, Memphis on Friday night beats the Bulls on a Luken Baker home run in the eighth, 5-4. I'm Patrick Keenis for Durham Bulls Daily.